There, get out. Get out now!
Hello everybody and welcome to Pretty Good Gaming. My name is Gareth Evans, this is Mr. Henry Cooper. Today we are talking about Resident Evil 2 Remake that was released on Friday last week, what everyone thought about it, whether it's worth your time and your money. Stick around because we're going to let you know. Resident Evil 2 is a survival horror game which is a remake of the original 1998 Resident Evil 2. It was remade using the RE engine which was seen in last year's RE7, but this time as opposed to RE7 we have an over-the-shoulder camera rather than what we had first person last year. Developed and published by Capcom, released on the 25th of January on all platforms, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Windows, costing £45 here in the UK, which is around about $60 in the US or your other regional equivalent. Apparently a single player video game, which is great for us. Debuted at #1 in the UK charts ahead of Red Dead 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which was second and third respectively. So let's take a look at some of the Metacritic scores. Metacritic overall has scored it a 91% on PS4 based on 66 critics, 9.1 user score, which is very high and very unusual. That has to be said.
They never get that high. Normally someone's upset about one thing, so it's like boom, 1 star.
Yeah.
Like,
what is notable here is that obviously Capcom haven't pissed any of the fans off.
it's the first time for a little while for them for not pissing people off.
To get a 9.1 is solid.
Impressive.
It's solid. Obviously, there's no review bombing of any sorts going on Metacritic right now. 89 on the PC based on 16 critic scores and 9.0 on the user score. 91 on the Xbox, the same as the PS4 based on 20 critics this time. 8.9 user score, so the user score is slightly down on that. But overall, #1 reviewed game so far in 2019 on Metacritic. Doesn't have a lot of competition. Let's see if it can hold that for as long as possible. Let's head over to OpenCritic now. OpenCritic scores this game a 92% average based on 108 critic reviews. 100% of the critics recommend the game. And just for a little bit of context here, only 7 games scored over 90% last year on OpenCritic, which is quite an exclusive club to be over the 90% mark. And
this early in the year as well.
And it's done it. So it's scored a 92. That's a good omen for this game. It's really good. It's #1 in the UK charts, physical charts only, we should say that. No digital figures and no figures outside of the UK counted in that. But to make it #1, it to be a single player game, it will be one of the highest games at the end of the year for sure, in the top 10 easy.
It's proving again that there is still a demand for single player, and big publishers need to get their fucking heads out of their asses and be like, oh, multiplayer is the way to go. Yeah. No, people obviously still want single player. Everyone knows people still want single player, so just give it to us.
And single player games are rated better.
Exactly, they always do better.
Fact. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the reviews or some of the headlines. Anyway, PC Gamer scored it an 89 and reviewer Andy Kelly said, a tense, challenging and beautiful remake of a classic survival horror game and with enough fresh ideas to make it feel exciting and new.
Tense and challenging, that's my big takeaway from having played it.
Although you can't attest to how fresh it is compared to the original because you didn't play the original.
I've not played the original, but I can say that coming into this, having not played it, it just feels like a solid game. Like, I don't need to know the original. I don't need to have prior knowledge. I played Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 3. For some reason, I just kind of bypassed #2. But I'm totally aware of what I need to be aware of. I know there are zombies and there's a place called Raccoon City and shit's hit the fan and Leon's got to save the day with a little help from Claire.
Well, for all intents and purposes, this is a completely new game for you. For you, right? Yeah. For anybody who hasn't played the previous game, this could be a new game. It's in the new engine, the updated engine. The graphics are fantastic. Mocap, facial animations,
the whole
everything,
9.
the whole shebang, the whole 9, as you were saying, right?
I was going to say shebang, and then I said 9, and then you said shebang, so it's really turned around on itself.
The whole 9 shebangs.
Yep.
It's everything. It ticks all the boxes for a total new game if you've never played it before. So the fact that it's got a remake attributed on there is slightly deceptive because it's not a faithful remake because it's got extra areas, extra parts of the game.
Yeah, it's twisted stuff around from what I gather, but from stuff I've seen of the original, some of the environments are pretty much one-to-one. Like, it's incredible what they have done. But then there are other bits where they've been like, well, no, we're going to change this bit so that it's a bit different, and it's a benefit in certain ways. Like, things make more logical sense.
There you go. So let's move on to the IGN. Oh dear, there's a bit of a backstory to this one. So Damien Hatfield eventually rated it a 9 out of 10, and he says, now this is how you remake a classic. Unfortunately, this is not how you make reviews, because unfortunately Damien Hatfield originally reviewed it an 8.8, I believe, and he only played the first campaign and complained that the second campaign was identical to the first campaign because he didn't realize that you had to choose the clear path or the second path, because when he chose the wrong path, and he thought that both stories were the same. So big fail on his part there. Yep,
because you pick your characters at the beginning. You can be rookie cop Leon. It's his first day on the job and things have gone a bit wrong, so he's like, hold on, what's up? I need to figure it out. Or you can play as Claire Redfield, the sister of one of the main characters in the first game, and she's there looking for her brother.
Yeah.
And you can pick whichever one of those you want to play as right at the very beginning, and then you go through the campaign, you do what you have to do as, for instance, Leon. If you pick Leon, you do the campaign, and then after that, you can unlock the ability to play through what Claire was doing at the same time, running parallel, or to replay everything you did as Leon, but as Claire, just swapping your character out. And that's what the folks at IGN must have done. Because, of course, the campaign is going to be exactly the same, because literally all you've done is swap out your playable character.
Right. So it was a bit of an oversight, considering that you're reviewing this game professionally, and also add fuel to the fire that IGN aren't the best. It's a complete understatement, but IGN gets so much trash for the reviews. There was that whole Dead Cells review, which they plagiarized not so long ago. The guy was let go from that. But anyway, this was a big boo-boo by Damien Hatfield, if I can term it like that. Resident Evil 2 expertly reanimates the horrifying atmosphere and moments of extreme tension that made the original so revered, says Damien Hatfield. But take that with a pinch of salt, because you obviously can't trust the fucking word he says. Let's move on. Eurogamer Aoife Wilson, I can never get her name.
Yeah, I was
Aoife.
Looking forward to you pronouncing that one.
Aoife Wilson, she recommended it. They don't give review scores on Eurogamer, so it's a recommended seal of approval by Eurogamer. Capcom finds the perfect middle ground between the old and new in this sterling remake. Another great review there.
Yep.
Game Informer 9.5 out of 10. We like Game Informer. Over the years, Capcom has experimented with several different approaches to Resident Evil, but this is one approach I hope gets revisited. Resident Evil 2 not only looks great, it plays well, and it forces you into a series of dark encounters that are a total rush. Resident Evil is finally running on all cylinders, says Ben Reeves of Game Informer. So another high praise there from Ben.
Finally running on all cylinders is a good point as well, especially because Resident Evil's had such an up and down history. Like 1, 2, and 3 pretty well regarded, 4 complete game changer for the franchise and generally very well received. 5 things started to wobble a little, and then 6 it's not the same game. Like, some people can have fun with it, but it's not a Resident Evil game.
It's not the horror game.
And then 7, yeah, exactly. And then 7 comes out and changes things up again. And in between all of those games, there's non-numbered ones. There's like Code Veronica. There's the horrendous like Raccoon Chronicles or Umbrella Corps or something like that.
So good that nobody can remember.
Exactly, you can't remember the game. I looked it up about 10 minutes ago and I've already forgotten what they were called.
I forget what that is. Okay, moving on. The Guardian rates it a 5 out of 5. And Keith Stewart says, for veterans who remember the original, and I reviewed it at the time, it is an unmissable nostalgic treat. For those who didn't know their T-viruses from their Code Veronicas, the experience is easily vivid and entertaining enough to stand on its own merits. This is horror game design as true craft. So, again, another fast, glowing review.
Yep.
And the final one I got here is ACG, who rated it a buy.
Buy.
He just says buy. He's got to buy, wait for sale and deep sale or whatever, discount. But he says buy. You got to buy this game. You got to buy this game.
Full price kind of.
So you paid $45.
I did.
45 dimes for it. So
it was a bit of a surprise because I was like, oh yeah, it'll be like just 40 quid. I wasn't bothered, but I was just like, oh, it says 45 on the box. Okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah, deal with it.
You can always resell it, eh?
Yeah, exactly. That's I got physical because I generally prefer physical. I just like having the the thing. I did consider going digital just for convenience, but I just went physical. So I was like, no, it'll get me out of the house. Because if I got digital, I would have played it non-stop from Friday night when I got home all the way through till now. But instead, went out, bought it on Saturday, waited, didn't play it till Sunday, and I just settled down and had a solid like 5-6 hour sesh, and that's about how far through I am.
It's healthier. That's another selling point that we hadn't considered before. Is the physical version is healthier as long as you don't get it off Amazon. You know?
Yeah, well,
just walk to the shop to get it.
You've got to walk down your stairs or to your front door to get it out of the letterbox.
So you're completely fresh to this game then. So how did you find it?
I am loving it. I'm not quite finished. I'm doing a Leon run. I think I'm pretty close to the end, but I'm really slow at video games because I explore everything. I like wander down every door. Anything. Yeah, especially a game like this where when you go back and do things as Claire on the parallel path, certain things you do as Leon will impact it. So if you unlock doors, she'll be able to go through them and stuff. Right. So I want to make sure everything's sorted.
Bit OCD like that.
Yeah, really. Like when it comes to collectathons, I'm like, it really wigs me out if there's like a million icons because I'm like, I've got to do everything. But I hate doing it, but I have to.
So it's tense. You find the atmosphere very engaging.
I thought it was really, really tense because the best way to do zombie fiction in any way is one zombie is completely fine. Doesn't matter. Like stumbling along, you can kill them, or you can just ignore them and walk around them. But as soon as two get involved, it just doubles the intensity, and the music really ramps up, and it's like visceral and dense sounds just constantly coming at you. Ramp as they get closer and closer, it gets louder and louder and louder, more aggressive.
How are the shooting mechanics?
I am a big fan of them. However, it can be annoying when you shoot a zombie 5 times in the face and it doesn't die because. Zombies, you shoot them in the head.
How much brains have they got? Have they got brains in their necks now or something?
Yeah,
or have they like migrated into the stomach to shoot everything?
Sometimes you shoot them once and the head goes off, and that's really satifying. It's just like, yeah, get on the fucking floor, you little bitch.
Yeah, like a shot. Can you like one shot them with a shotgun to the face? Is that always the one shot kill?
No. Because like I've blown off like half their neck and shoulder and they got one arm, but they're still coming. I'm like, mate, what are you doing? But the shooting is very responsive. That's one thing I will say, which I'm a big fan of. Like every shot, they are responding to it. Bits of them fall off. It's just that the game decides they're not dead. Their code's still running.
It looks gorgeous though. I mean, every bullet pretty much has a bit of a splatter of blood.
It's like gorgeously grotesque.
Gory, and that's the part of the appeal to a game like this, right? The kind of tension and like the gore and the horrific images that you're looking at.
Resident Evil's known for quite unpleasant imagery, and doing it with the brilliant RE engine just highlights every disgusting little blood-soaked detail, and it's perfect.
I noticed one of your notes here says "fuck lickers."
Fuck lickers, man, they suck.
Is that in like you want to fuck lickers or fuck lickers? Because there's 2 ways you can take that, right? Fuck lickers.
I don't want to engage in intercourse with a licker. I mean, they're not very attractive. They're not my type. I prefer my, flesh-eating monsters to have skin attached to them rather than just being all over the floor.
I'm glad we clarified that.
Just, for the sake of the listeners.
Yeah.
Fuck lickers.
So, any other problems with the games other than, like, the amount of bullets it takes to take down zombies sometimes?
My biggest frustrations with it were when I was just being stupid. Because I got stuck for ages.
That's always frustrating.
Yeah, I'm stupid quite a lot.
Is very frustrating.
And it's part of the reason it takes me ages to do a game. Because I'll be like, why can't I solve this puzzle? And it's because I've just overlooked something super obvious. Yeah, I'm just an idiot. It's fair.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Well, like, there was a door I had to get through, and I was like, why can't I open the door? I haven't got the tool to open the door. Then it dawned on me, I was like, yes I do, I've just not got it like equipped. It's in my storage box or whatever. So I had to march all the way there and do it again. But it did a good job of reminding me this is where you are supposed to go. Because I was like, right, well, I've cleared all this area, and now I've come back, and there's like 5 or 6 zombies here. This is me on the right track. As soon as the big Titan bastard, he's a big, essentially Frankenstein's monster with a long black trench coat, called Mr. X. I don't think they ever actually call him Mr. X. I think it's one of those bits of trivia. He's never called Mr. X in game or anything like that.
That's his actual name. That's what he gets in the credits.
Like yeah. He is brilliant because he's super powerful. He'll take you out in like a couple hits, and he just marches after you. He never runs. It's like the Terminator. He's just this slowly advancing presence, and you can hear him all the time because he's got these big stomping feet, and you can always hear him nearby. and you can't kill him. It's kind of like the alien in Alien Isolation, which is an excellent game, because you can't kill him, you can't kill the alien, but you can like distract it or hit it with a flamethrower or stuff.
So the whole time tension is building because you can't actually eliminate the threat. You have to work around it, and you have to use everything at your disposal in order to get your objective achieved while being pursued.
And it adds such a level of pressure because until he reveals himself, you're kind of just jogging around the police station like, okay, I've got to go there, there's that door, walk through there, blah 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 blah, kill a few zombies here and there, maybe a licker or two, but then he shows up and the pressure is constantly on because he will find you, and like you can be walking along and he'll just turn the corner and he's there, and that's some scurry shit.
So about the difficulty, how difficult you think it's challenging? Do you think it's...
Yes, I think it is, to me, the perfect kind of challenge because it keeps you on the knife edge the entire time. You have just enough bullets and just enough health. You're not dead, you're still going, but your health's on like orange or red, and you've got like one clip left in your gun and nothing else. And that's the perfect way to do it, because on other very hard games it's just death after death after death. I've died like a couple times, but you're constantly under pressure to make sure you're making every shot count. So again, when there's multiple zombies, panic shooting is like your worst enemy. You're shooting once and then you shoot and you miss, and you're, damn it, and shoot again, and then before you know it, you've got no bullets and you're gone. So precision shot placement is key.
You have to be very careful.
Yeah, you got to be economical with your resources.
Right, so any other final thoughts before we wrap this shit up?
The voice acting, I kind of miss how bad it was, because I was watching some footage of the original and I was like, damn, I miss early PS1 voice acting because it's just so hilarious. But then this one comes along, it's like, wow, this is dramatic and well acted. There's this one sequence I won't spoil. You meet another survivor and he threatens you and stuff, but then you learn he has this daughter, and it's genuinely quite moving, the whole scenario, because it doesn't really mean anything for the rest of the gameplay or anything like that, but it's just an extra level of fidelity to the whole experience and makes it more than just a remake of an old game. It adds so much more depth, along with the better graphics and better controls and all that. So I think things like that are lovely little additions.
Awesome. So that's it for our review roundup of Resident Evil 2 Remake. Did you enjoy the game? Have you bought it? Are you thinking about buying it, or are you not even bothered? Let us know down in the comments below. That's it from Henry and I. We will see you again in the next video. Until then, bye for now.